What's up guys, I'm Square and I'm back with a new video here today. Today we're gonna be talking about something which is kind of serious and something I think is really important to talk about. You probably heard what happened to the YouTuber Kwite recently, and I think it's something we need to talk about because stuff like this can't happen. It's really bad. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So a little while ago the YouTuber Kwite got exposed for being a sexual abuser, which turns out not to be true, and yeah, that's really what I'm going to talk about today. So this guy Orion called him out on Twitter and made a bunch of accusations without any real proof, if I have to be honest, and people just jumped the gun and immediately took their side without even hearing the other side of the story, which is really bad, I guess, because a lot of people, especially on Twitter and stuff like that, tend to have the mentality that it's guilty until proven innocent, which is totally wrong in my opinion. I'll tell you why in just a minute. Because with the guilty until proven innocent mentality, the reason why it doesn't work, this is a prime example. Because quite obviously is innocent if you watch his new video, because in that video he shows real proof, good proof, and he's really believable, and I totally believe that he did not do anything wrong or inappropriate. If anything, Orion was one wrong, after what I can tell. So people immediately just believed the Orion coming out with all of this, which obviously is bad. I get that people want to, protect potential victims and stuff like that, but you really have to be thinking about the consequences when doing stuff like this, because the consequences can be enormous. Because now Kwite had to make a video talking about his personal life, which he probably did not want to do, if I have to be honest, and he put out his face and everything, which is, kind of big deal, because he has never done that before. When it gets that extreme, I think it's really time we need to look at what people are doing wrong, because we don't want situations to end up like this, right? So firstly, I think we need to remove the guilty until proven innocent. It should be innocent until proven guilty always, because if not, stuff like that happens. I think we should wait before both sides speak before we draw any conclusions. I think that's very important, that we get both sides of the story, so we don't end up doing a massive fail like those people who believed Orion. And I also quickly want to talk about some of the YouTubers who made videos about this before Kwite even made his response, just kept making things worse and worse and worse, putting more attention on it, when in reality they should have waited until Kwite responded, so they would have made a more educated video, I guess. And that's something I really think people need to start doing. Waiting a little bit, do a bit more research, think about it a bit more, right? Just don't believe the first thing you see, because when you believe the first thing you see, terrible stuff happens just like this, right? And another thing I'd like to talk about really quickly is that I'd like the people who came out on Twitter and defended Ryan before even knowing Kwite's story, I would like them to apologize, make a tweet, going over the things they said was wrong. I'd like them to, fix the mistakes they've done, and, retract their statements about the situation. I get that it can be hard, doing something which you thought was right, but it turns out to be wrong. I know that takes a lot of courage to admit and fix, but it's something I think is needed to be done, because if you just delete everything and pretend like nothing happens, for number one, people will not trust you as much anymore, and number two, it will look like you were totally innocent when you obviously weren't. And I think instead of just deleting everything, you should admit fault so that you can, personally improve. And I think a great way of doing that is actually coming out and showing people that you've changed for the better, and showing people that you know better now. Because if you just delete it, it looks like you're just trying to sweep everything under the rug, and people will trust you much less. And, I really think we need to stop tweeting about everything, stop doing massive hashtags, stuff like that, because this was just a horrendous situation which was handled terribly. I think Twitter, the people on Twitter who do stuff like this before even knowing both sides. They really need to look deep within themselves, I think, and realize that they need to change, because the way this works doesn't really work that well, you know. People are you know, accused for the wrong things, and to be honest, not a lot of consequences happen to the people who do the accuse people doing the wrong thing. Because when you first looked at what would happen to Kwite, you know, when the allegation first came out, he was, you know, destroyed. He was, you know, hashtags and everything. He was trending. The hashtag Stop Kwite was trending, or what it was. But when you look at Twitter now, there's nothing about Ryan, is there? I don't really see anything. Now, that might just be me. I might be wrong about that, you know. But honestly, I think we need to call out people who do this more, so people understand it's not okay to do stuff like that for attention, because obviously it's not. It's horrible. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to say in this quick video. Just talking about it, because I had to put out my thoughts, you know, because I really think that Twitter needs change and people need to change. I think people need to stop using the guilty until proven innocent mentality. I need to use the innocent until proven guilty, because if you wait for proof, the chances that we'll mess up this badly will be much tinier. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you all so much for, you know, listening to my rant, I guess. And I really hope things get better for Kwite from now on. So yeah, see you all later, I guess. Goodbye.